Welcome to the Boston Art Podcast,
Boston's premier art podcast,
where we talk art, culture, and philosophy.
My name is Theodore Earthworms.
And I am Brian Huntress.
Welcome to the show.
So today, not really today, you have to pretend. Today is the day that...
Today's the day. Like your day, listener's day. Unless you're not listening to the day.
It's the day that the album finally comes out. And, I think it's kind of confusing for people who aren't, like, fully, ridiculously tapped into my meandering, scattered day-to-day lore.
The Brian universe.
That they'd be like, well, didn't you your album did come out, the Art Songs album. And then I'd be like, no, that's actually the wrong one. That album was actually just completely impromptu.
That was a no big deal thing.
I just did that because, I don't fucking know. That's not the point. But this one is the Vocaloid one that I was talking about months and months ago that I worked on for like a million years.
Yeah.
And it's finally coming out, and fuck it. I don't know. I don't know what to say about it.
Hell yeah.
Obviously, don't skip off this episode because this isn't just a promotional episode for the album. It's just us talking about it at the top of the show. But I don't know.
You should go listen to it.
Do you have any reflections on the production time of the album, or when I was making it, now that it's finally here? What was it like when I was first making it? Do you remember when I first started making these songs?
Shouldn't these be questions I'm asking you?
No.
Okay. What was it like for me when you were making this album?
Yeah, what was it like? What were you thinking and pondering and waxing poetic about me and my mind and everything that I was doing?
Well, I will say, I guess I do have some thoughts on this. Oh, shit, sorry, I'm so tired. This album is really different from anything else you've ever released, and it's really, really good. I think that you have grown a lot in terms of your production quality. Like, I'm not a musician, but the stuff that you made that's coming out, that is out now, is a lot, it's a lot tighter than the stuff that you were making when you first started this concept. Like, it just all comes together a lot better, to the point where, like, you made a bunch of stuff and were really experimenting with SynthV, the program you were making the songs on, and had a whole bunch of cool stuff that you were making that sounded great to me. And then you were working on it and adding new stuff and had a whole, like, list of songs that it was like 40 songs that you didn't cut down to what you're actually releasing. And then by the time you got to that end part, the ones you made in the beginning you didn't like anymore, and they didn't sound as good as they did when you first made them, because the stuff you made by the end was so much better. So you had to go back and rework some of the early ones to make them fit, which I think is a really good testament to how much you learned from this process, which I think is awesome.
What an excellent testimonial. Thank you for sharing all that. I think, too, before I made all of these, I legitimately did not actually understand how to produce music.
Yeah.
The best songs that I had out, either through Boxer's Jaw or my own, were either... So they were one of two things. They were either produced by somebody else that did a pretty good job, or it was just the best possible live take I could possibly muster up. You know what I mean? And that was my two best case scenarios for recording.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't have any of the skills or information on how to just build a song completely digitally with mics and digital instruments and stuff, which is like basic rudimentary skills that a music producer should have. Like, I feel confident enough that I could produce an album for someone else right now.
Yeah.
Which is
huge.
I would, and I don't know if I would do that, but I totally fucking could, and it wouldn't be really that challenging. Obviously, within reason. Like, I couldn't make like a metalcore album or something.
Well, nobody's gonna make it.
Maybe I could on it. I don't know, but I couldn't produce a metalcore band or something. But like indie rock, folk, I could do that.
Do you feel like the reason for that, like, explosive growth was because you changed genres entirely and had to go digital to finish the album?
Honestly, I think I remember a moment where it kind of changed, where it was around when I made Things Would Be Better, which is another single I put out last year or something, or earlier this year, I forget. Mm-hmm. Or no, it was last summer. I think, honestly, after I made that, yeah, that you sang on too. After that, I just kind of was just like, dude, I need to stop being a fucking baby. Like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, why haven't I actually legitimately tried to educate myself on how to do this? Like, how have I been doing this for over 10 years?
Yeah.
But I've been like too whiny and like, oh no, I can't do it. Like, what the fuck? I am insanely, ridiculously more than intimately familiar with technology and computers and design programs and digital art. So like, what am I, fucking stupid? Like, it was just stubborn. The only reason I didn't know how to do this before was purely just stubbornness and anxiety.
I think also, that's probably partially true, but I think also you used to have your like core crux of your creative output was really contingent on live shows and in-person experiences for most of that time. And now you do so much through the vehicle of the internet that it would be asinine for you to just rely on people coming to in-person things. Like, you have so much more of a reach because you're doing things more digitally. And with the album that you have right now, I don't even know if you could play it live.
Yeah, as of right now, I'm not 100% sure how I would do that. Trevor, shout out to Trevor. We had like a call.
It's been a while since we shouted out Trevor.
That's true. Yeah, we had a call where he was explaining to me a lot of the technical things and different equipment and methods I could use to kind of to play all these things live. Where in the easiest, most rudimentary way, I could literally just plug my phone or a laptop into an aux cord and play the beats through speakers.
Yeah.
Like that, you could do that, but the real professional way to do it is significantly more complex than that and requires different types of equipment, because I don't know if I could even get into all of the different ways, and it's just so fucking complicated, and there's so many different things you have to consider with, cause what the technology is, have you ever seen a band live where it wasn't just guitars and bass and drums, but they also had like maybe electronica or like samples of like, you know, like different like studio, like interesting digital effects happening?
Yeah.
That is the kind of technology and live show, the kind of, I don't even know how to describe it.
I think I know what you mean. Like, they would have like pedals or a keyboard or something to play samples?
Not honestly, not even. Hold on. All right, we're at Wendy's now, and we're gonna order some food, and this is gonna
expose us like that.
It's a mukbang Wendy's episode.
Oh my god.
What's wrong with mukbangs? They're fine. Okay, do you want to hear our order? They're gonna hear our order.
No. Embarrassing.
You're embarrassed right now? Okay, I'll pause it so they won't know.
Fine.
Okay. Now
It's
I'm
kind of
embarrassed.
embarrassing.
Hi, can I have 2 double stack biggie bags with no cheese?
Medium large.
Just the regular order.
Drink and talk.
Diet Coke and sweet and sour.
Okay, anything else?
That's all. Thank you.
Huh?
That's all. Thank you.
What try to cook?
Wait, actually, that was with no cheese on both of them. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. We almost got cheesed.
Holy fuck.
I think it's your turn.
Oh, I don't have my wallet.
You motherfucker.
I really don't.
Are you serious?
I really don't.
It's okay. I'm not actually mad. Here, hold the phone.
Okay.
But you owe me. It was your turn because I bought you McDonald's on St. Patrick's Day.
What about the day after St. Patrick's Day when we went out?
Oh, yeah, I don't know what happened that day. I don't remember.
I don't recall.
Did I just order like an asshole? Do you think the people listening judged me for like just being stupid or something?
No. Like the people listening in Wendy's or the people listening on the episode?
I think the people in Wendy's judged me.
I don't think they judged. He seemed nice.
I think he heard the first part of the conversation before I realized he was listening.
Where we said it was embarrassing?
Yeah. Because he was like, can I help you?
Can I help you, you fucking asshole?
You fucking piece of shit. Thank you. What's wrong? This is like immersive. Like, you know what's funny about this is, this is the same kind of content that people watch on IRL streams on like Twitch.
This is the kind of content we used to make. Do you know how many drive-through episodes we had, like, in
Oh, yeah.
2021 or so?
Yeah,
We haven't made one in a while,
I think
though.
that we used to be a little bit more ashamed of it. Like, we had more shame.
Really?
Yeah, like, we were like, oh, like, I don't know, whatever.
About the drive-through episodes? I
Maybe.
feel like it's maybe the exact opposite.
Like, we have more shame now?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, now I feel like, I don't know, I feel like at the time that we were doing that all the time, like, all of our friends went to the drive-through for, like, every meal. Now it's like, I don't like to tell people that I went to Wendy's.
That you eat fast food?
Yeah, like, everyone's fucking judgmental all of a sudden.
Yeah, also, the reason that we're doing this right now is because we don't have any... We're an ingredients kitchen right now. Like, we don't have anything substantial to cook with. Like, we just
Yeah.
have, like, a little bit of rice and, like, a half a bag of frozen vegetables.
We did check so we could
and
cook
like,
first.
no protein, anything.
We should go to Trader Joe's this weekend.
Yeah, sure.
What the fuck?
You know what's funny about Trader Joe's? What?
You can't just burp into the mic.
There is no mic, and I wasn't into it. Burping into it. You know what I've been thinking about is over the pandemic, randomly, like, I don't know what causes this, if people engineer this or not, or if it's just purely, like, just by accident or through chance, but have you noticed that there are brands and companies of literally any variety that just worm their way into being a part of music culture?
What do you mean?
Like the way that, like, rap music in the 90s is the reason that Air Force Ones are huge, that Backwoods, Blunt Wraps, Patron, like Ciroc, like all, like, I don't know, just think of any brand that you only ever hear about in a song. Does that
Yeah.
ring? I don't know. Like, isn't it funny? Like, it's just so I've kind of noticed something about that, where if you're a late adopter to that, like if I tried to make a song and I like was saying like Backwoods or like Grey Goose or Air Force Ones or like just including these brands,
Yeah.
like really popular brands that are often mentioned in pop culture and music, you know, Gucci, Versace, whatever, it would be so whack because that would be such a late adoption on my part.
It would look very forced.
It would look forced and stupid.
Which can sometimes be funny, but only if you're doing it on purpose funny.
But do you know when it's the coolest? Is when you are the first person to incorporate a brand that is not yet cool, like that is not yet associated with pop culture and music.
What are the contemporary brands you were just thinking of?
Because Jungle Pussy, who is like kind of an underground TikTok artist, had the viral song Trader Joe's.
Oh,
Remember
yeah, that song was
And
good.
she like made it a thing, like to just like, oh, like, because everybody knew, because if you don't know this, we know this because Theo used to work at Trader Joe's.
I did.
But the crew and management there actually make the people who work there talk to you. Like the people that you get flirted with and chatted up, and you have such a wonderful time when you go to Trader Joe's because they make their employees do that.
Yeah.
So,
Well, to be fair, I didn't experience that at my Trader Joe's, but there was a lot of talk about that at other Trader Joe's locations. And if you go on Trader Joe's Reddit, you can see that.
it's a part of the job, and
People
I
have
get
been
that.
fired for not being social enough at Trader
Right.
Joe's. According to Reddit. I don't
So,
fucking know.
With that being said, it kind of became a TikTok phenomenon, comedic thing, that everybody who worked at Trader Joe's was bisexual and hot, and during the pandemic, people would go there just to be seen.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm so horny, I'm gonna just go to Trader Joe's so people will talk to me.
As someone who worked at Trader Joe's during the pandemic, I can guarantee that was
That was
happening.
happening, yeah. Fuck,
Yeah.
they didn't give us straws, did they?
They didn't?
Dude, I'm gonna go back in there and fucking...
No.
I'm just kidding. No.
No,
I'm gonna go back in there and do something fucked up. Maybe I'll just use this dunk straw.
I have one new... Oh, you can use that one.
You can use a new one. I'll use this old one.
Oh, I feel bad now. I was
It's
just
okay.
going to say that to you, but...
It's okay. I don't care. I do this in my car all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
You should get some extra straws.
I throw them away every time I have them in my car.
The straws?
Yeah.
Extra ones?
Yep.
Unused?
Mhm.
You're just a fucking, like, sea turtle murderer?
No. You know what's funny? We went to, rest in peace to anybody who hates the sound of chewing.
Yeah, turn it off now.
We went to a restaurant one time where the waiter came up to us after giving us water, like, cause how like,
Oh my god, yeah.
they just give you water at
I
restaurants.
forgot about this.
And the guy went, "You guys want some turtle killers?" and showed us straws. And I did want a straw.
We're just
Because, like,
yeah.
sometimes it sucks to drink ice water filled with ice cubes out of a giant glass cup. You need a fucking straw.
Yeah.
But, like, I was just like, I wanted to just be like, shut the fuck up.
You know what was the worst part of that?
Like,
After he
stop,
walked away,
dude. What?
we opened them, and after he walked away, they were paper straws. Like, he just made us feel weird.
And, like,
yeah.
and I felt bad for the guy because he clearly was like,
It was a bit.
yeah, he was doing a bit. Like, it was just a funny thing that he said.
I think he said a couple of other things that were, like that, too.
You know
It was
what-
an interesting interaction. I
You know what
forgot
it
about
was? It's like, I respect that he was, you know, being a waiter's hard, you know, so
Yeah.
I get that he was, like, exerting an insane amount of mental energy to be there in general.
that. Totally.
So I respect that he was trying all these jokes out.
We
But
still
the
took
guy
them.
was just hammering on the jokes. It was just like, shut the fuck up, man. I didn't say that, obviously, but I was like, chill with the intensity and
Yeah.
and velocity of these. There's just so many jokes
I wish
that I
there-
wish he would just be more
Yeah.
chill.
I wish that there was a socially acceptable way to indicate to your waiter, like, I promise you I'm going to tip you 20%. Just please stop. Like, you don't have to do that with me. I'm going to give you the money,
Like,
and
there
it's
should
fine.
there should just be like a little lamp at the table that's just with a little red light bulb that you hit a button and it turns the lamp on, and that means stay the fuck away from my table.
There are some restaurants that are like that. If you go
Really?
to, like, buffet places, like, there's a buffet that I went to that was near my house when I was growing up, where they would come to your table with, like, meat and, like, sides and stuff, and it was like a rotating menu where the waiter would come and drop things off.
Isn't that like tapas?
No. Tapas is when you have little plates.
Oh, okay, sure.
Well,
Alright, keep
maybe
going,
they
keep
serve
going.
it that way. I don't know. But it was like that, where you had green for when you want the waiters to come and red for when you want them to stop. But it's not even like oh my god, I'm gonna have a meltdown.
Why?
That noise.
Is
Sorry.
that being loud?
Not even. It just like stressed me out.
Oh, sorry.
Suddenly, it's
My
not
bad.
your fault. I just got overstimulated. Not your fault at all. Sorry. No, I was gonna say that
They
I
had
lost
red
it.
light, green light.
I lost the bit. No, I was gonna say it's not even that I don't want the waiter to talk to me. Like, it's not that. I just like want to indicate this can be a normal interaction. Like, talk to me like regular. Don't make me respond to jokes.
Oh, do you remember that time? This was so horrible. We went to a restaurant, and the hostess sat us.
Yeah.
There was no like.
Do you have
Have what?
my sweet and sour sauce?
I think they forgot it. I didn't get any either.
What the fuck?
I'm so sorry.
Oh no.
You're gonna eat dry nuggies.
They didn't give us sweet and sour sauce or
Yeah.
straws.
Those
God.
people fucked us, man.
This is why nobody goes to Wendy's. All right, sorry. What were you gonna say?
What was I saying?
One time we went to a restaurant and the hostess sat us.
Oh yeah, and you know how like when you're at a restaurant, the waitress or the wait staff comes back every 15 minutes or so and like checks up to see if you need waters or I don't know. They're just doing shit.
Yeah.
This girl came back literally every like minute and 30 seconds
Oh, I remember this.
on a loop. Just like a minute later, she's like, "Hi, are you?"
Yeah.
And it was like so fucking weird. Like it was just like.
It was really tense. I don't remember what we were talking about either, but I remember we were actually having a pretty serious conversation too.
Yeah.
And it was actually like not exaggerating for effect, like it really was every minute or 2 minutes.
Yeah. It was.
But the
too
thing that
much.
was weird about it though is I started to be like, okay, clearly her shift is ending. But it didn't seem like it was because the whole section was sat. It wasn't like crazy busy, but it wasn't empty and they weren't closing. There were other people on staff. It was just maybe she was a new server. Or maybe I also was like, maybe she doesn't like us for some reason. It was kind of scary.
I think she wanted us to leave.
But I don't know why she would have wanted that.
Right, they weren't even closing.
And I don't think we knew her.
No. All right, maybe we should stop talking shit about people who work at restaurants.
Yeah, it's bad bit. Bad bit. Listen, I've been
Shout
a
out to
server.
everybody that works at restaurants.
Yes.
I fucking deliver fucking food for
Yeah, you do.
pennies an hour, so shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up!
Not some like bourgeoisie asshole spitting down on people that serve food. So fuck off.
No, you know what? I feel like sometimes This is like, I feel like this is like a TikTok shtick, which is like kind of embarrassing of me, but I feel like people that have worked in food service can sometimes be the most critical about other people that work in food service because you've done the shtick.
Right.
Like, I don't like your customer service persona as a connoisseur.
What is it called? Like a food sauna, maybe?
Your food sauna? Mine was probably pretty annoying too. You know what I used to do when I was a server that served me really well, I think? Not that I made like crazy tips, but I did okay. Like I was satisfied with the amount of money I was making as a server. I used to wear a really high ponytail and act so stupid. Like if I made a mistake, I'd just be like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry," and just straight up tell the table that I forgot, and just be like, I was just going for the pretty stupid but nice bit, and I would get teary if things really went south, and usually that was okay. Because it wasn't real. Like I was faking, I wasn't actually doing that. But it worked really well. Like, people started to kind of like me, which was nice.
Yeah, because there's so much pressure, too, because, like, you know, like what we were just complaining about the waiter being, like, constantly fucking annoying you. There are some instances where you get a total piece of shit customer that wants you to do that. And they're, like, pissed that you're not there. And they give you a shit-ass tip because you weren't waiting on them hand and foot, like, every second of the entire time they were there.
Yeah.
And then there's people like us that are like, get away from me, dude. Like, leave us alone for a while. So, like, it's probably a lot of anxiety, which makes sense why someone like you, who is a seasoned, you know, waitress, to commit to one archetype. It's like being a circus performer or something. Like, if you're a clown, you're not just, like, bouncing around into all different types of clowns in the middle of one performance. You gotta pick a clown.
Now that you're saying that back to me, though, I actually disagree with everything you just said.
Oh, really? Like, you gotta be constantly ready to switch into a new character?
That's definitely true.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The stupid thing only worked on very specific people, now that I think about it.
What, like middle-aged men?
Yeah.
Right.
They would tip you pretty well when you acted
That
stupid.
are dads?
No,
Oh, no difference?
not necessarily. I think that if you're serving old people, it's good to be really nice and really attentive and to make really dumb jokes.
They love manners and dumb jokes.
Yeah. And if it's, if somebody's being an asshole, though, if they're the kind of person that's not going to tip unless you're, like, 100% perfect, either you're busy and you can't do anything about that and it is what it is, which is unfortunate and awful. You shouldn't be that person. Or you know as soon as they walk in the door. Because you have to earn their liking you.
What fucking assholes? Like, this, like, esoteric, stupid fucking language that people are speaking in restaurants. Like, just, like, fuck off. Everybody act chill and just tip the people that are serving you food.
Yeah.
Like, let's just end the fucking charade. Stop expecting the people at the fucking 99 to be fucking, like, British mansion butlers. Like, they're just fucking people that want to fucking die that need money. Like, just fucking leave them alone.
Yeah.
Just order your fucking food, talk to your fucking date, and fucking just, I don't know, and tip them.
Yeah.
And then leave. Like, none of this song and dance bullshit.
It's true. It is true. You know what, though? I will say also, the regulars that I had when I was serving, I still remember almost all of them, probably, and what their orders were.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you also remember your childhood friend's, like, home phone number?
No.
Oh, I do.
I had all mine programmed into my address book in my phone.
Oh, wow. This might be a generational thing just by that, like, 2 or 3 year difference.
I mean, it was on my home phone.
You had a digital address book on your home phone?
Yeah.
What the fuck, really?
Yeah.
Did you ever have a cord landline phone that you had to talk on in the kitchen only?
No. But we did have, we had battery operated or chargeable, I forget. I think they might have charged cordless phones.
Yeah, they have like a dock.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
But they were all connected to the same phone line.
So your mom would fucking eavesdrop on you when you were up talking to, or did you ever like up wicked late on the home phone when you're not supposed to be? And then your mom just picks up the phone and is like, Theo, go to bed. That used to happen to me all the time.
Yeah.
My mom would just figure out I was on the phone and be like, Brian, and like interrupt the phone call.
I used to also steal the home phone and pretend it was missing and deny knowing where it was.
Under your pillow.
Yeah, and just listen to calls.
Yeah.
I was really into spies when I was a kid, so I used to just like fucking beat up my mom's ass, just like eavesdrop on her regular life.
Like spies in general?
Yeah.
Or like Spy versus Spy, the cartoon?
No, like being a spy.
Just general spy espionage you were into?
Yeah, you didn't have that
I was
phase?
really into espionage when I was a kid.
No, Harriet the Spy. Like, I read Harriet the Spy, and then I got, like, they had, like, spy kits when we were kids. They had, like, voice recorders and, like, fucking binoculars and shit. And I had a little spy notebook.
Oh, and the sunglasses with little rear view mirrors attached to the inside of the lens.
Yeah.
So you could look at your hair or your ear.
Yeah, it was cool.
You could just check out, like, the side of your head and see nothing behind you.
I used to put, like, a glass cup to my mom's door and, like, listen to my own blood in my ears.
You know what
They're,
a
like,
clothing
sick.
line or, like, major fashion brand needs to do?
What?
Is make those. Like, imagine if Gucci just dropped spy sunglasses. Or, like, Ray-Ban's spy sunglasses. How sick would that be?
I don't know.
You're
about
not
that.
very thrilled
I don't
about
think
it.
that would sell.
I think it would fucking be sick. They were like bat-shaped glasses where the bat wing, like bat wing glasses, and the wing is a mirror.
That might be cool.
You're not into this?
That might be kind of cool. You should just make a prototype.
I did have a few ideas of like glass vibes and fashion that I would love to design.
You've had some hat ideas recently, too.
Yeah. I mean, I want to be like, I don't want to say it because I don't want anyone to steal it, but like, obviously, that's not going to happen. Anyway.
Should we do another Theox Brian drop?
Well, all right, here's my idea. I want to make clothes or just a project or something that is, it's going to sound stupid at first, but stained glass steampunk. Like weird, strange glasses and goggles and gadgets where the screens and lenses are made of fractured mosaic stained glass instead of just clear lenses.
So, like, Victorian Gothic core?
I don't know. Like, I'm just saying, imagine goggles, like big, crazy goggles that you'd wear on your head.
Yeah.
But the lenses are just like rustic stained glass.
That'd be sick.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It'd be dope, right?
You know what would also be really sick?
What?
A bodice that's made of stained glass.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me. I saw somebody on TikTok or Instagram. I forget. I don't know who the fuck it is, but they made a full set of gloves out of ceramics.
Wow.
Like where they were almost look like puppet hands where...
Was it the flower person?
I don't know, where their fingertips and then it almost looks like ceramic hand armor.
I think you're talking about the person who did the flower gloves recently that were viral too.
Interesting. I have no idea. Do you want to pause for like 5 minutes? Do you want to take like a 5-minute break?
Okay. Why?
If you want to eat your food.
Oh, I'm chilling.
Okay, cool.
What do you want to take a break?
No, I don't. I just didn't want to, because I know it can be hard to like find the moment when we're just like talking infinitely.
What time are we at?
30 minutes.
Oh, that was
It's just flying on by. But yeah, I'm really excited that the fucking album's finally coming out.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. I thought that Vocaloid and Synth V and just voice synth technology was going to be like my forever thing that I was into. I'm like, I'm a vocal synth person now until I die.
I have feedback for you.
But now I never want to do it again.
I actually have feedback for you about that.
What is it?
I think what happened. So for the listener, the context here, you made this album. You were working on it, obsessed with it, thinking about it nonstop, 24/7, every single day, had new updates for like almost a year, like a long ass fucking time, maybe 6 months at the least, but it was a long time. Built like fucking 50 songs, cut it back down to however many are on there, 22, 21. So a lot of building up, scaling back, reworking, etc. And then you queued it, like you uploaded it to DistroKid or whatever, and it was waiting to be released. You have the release day set, you announced the release day, and then you made that one video that went viral that spun off into all of the art music thing.
Yeah.
And everybody started freaking out and was like asking you to make new versions of these songs and making more songs for kids and whatever. And you got hyper focused on that because it was a like flash in the pan moment where it's like you have to jump on that while it's hot.
Yeah.
But it completely distracted you from the Vocaloid stuff, and you haven't listened to any of the songs as far as I'm aware. You haven't been playing it in the car, you haven't been thinking about it, you haven't been chewing on it. I don't even know if you played in Synth V. So I think that it's completely not true at all lie that you don't like it anymore or don't care. You just got distracted.
Yeah, I'm definitely very distracted from it. Because, like, it's gotten to a point, too, where the TikTok and Instagram songs, I can make one of those in 15 minutes. Full lyrics, guitar, drums. Like, I can make one of those insanely fast.
Yeah.
And it's like... it's kind of to the point where, you know how I can draw the exact same, just, like, face?
Yeah.
Just over and over and over again, infinitely, and they're, like, all indistinguishable from each other, pretty much. It's just the same type of drawing. That's how the songs feel to make them now.
Yeah.
But it's very a weird thing, I feel like, because I feel like I've kind of cracked a bit of a code in my own internal meta, not like some zeitgeist code of the universe, but just I feel like I've cracked a personal code, if you will.
Yeah.
Where it's fucking just so weird how I don't understand how when you're playing music live, for example, I don't know why it took me this long to figure out, because I've had performances where I was like, all right, I'm going to let the songs speak for themselves. You like play the songs and try to let the songs speak for themselves. People might not be that interested. Then you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to go up there and talk a lot and prepare remarks and really explain what I'm doing and what these things mean to me and about myself. And then people are really into what you're saying, but they don't really care about the music. They just kind of they like you. They're like, wow, that guy was charismatic.
Yeah.
The songs were awful, but that guy was cool, or something.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, how do you, like, there's always been this dissonance to me in my life where I'm like, I feel like people like me and they like what I have to say and who I am and what I think. But when I write songs, it's just kind of like, meh. They don't really, they're like, fine, that's fine. And I've also, I've gone through this weird mismatched sense of identity forever where I've never felt like my songs really are explaining who I am. It's just me. I don't know why, but I'm just, in my life and art, I'm very inspired by the feelings of sadness and despair and horrible, sad, weird stuff.
Yeah.
When I'm thinking about that stuff, or I see that stuff, or I experience that stuff, I like to create. I don't know why. That's just a way that I am attuned, and that's whatever.
I have a similar issue.
Yeah. So then, I constantly make art, and it doesn't reflect me. It just reflects sad, weird things that I think.
Yeah, I feel that.
But people don't get to know me at all through my art or music. They just get to know the sad, weird shit that I think about.
I think
That's
that
weird.
you also have written a lot of hope songs.
Too many. Hope songs suck.
I think some of them are really sweet.
Yeah, maybe 3 of them, but not the 80 that I've published.
There's a good 10 that I really like.
Oh, well, I appreciate that.
Probably more than that, but I think that another thing too is that your sound is so different now. I think that there's dissonance with that too, where it's like you don't really write with a folk punk voice anymore.
No.
Which, that stuff's cool. The music that you made that sounds like that is awesome. But the stuff that you do when you're at home or the stuff that you're writing right now, I think that you have moved in a different direction creatively, which means that your discography so far didn't really reflect where you're at. And I really like this Vocaloid album because I feel like it does. It's very experimental. You had to do a lot of learning to get it done. It's all fresh off the dome,
Yeah, it definitely
It's a
is.
stupid thing to say, but...
No, it's fresh off the dome. It's true.
it's an accurate snapshot of where you're at currently, which I think is nice.
Yeah, and I think it's the reason that all honestly feels old now with the art songs and stuff that I put on the internet is because, like I was saying before, where it's just I feel like people don't know me or like me or whatever I was saying, but I've just been thinking I don't what if the song, imagine if you didn't have an introduction to your live performance. You're like, hey, what's up, everybody? Oh, that last performance was great. Hell yeah, give it up for the people that put on the show. I'm Brian, and this is my first song. That fucking dumb, fluff speech that should be cut off of every performance that everybody does.
Yeah.
And most of the time, it's awkward and haphazard, and they didn't prepare anything to say. You just go up there and you're like, whoa, hey, like you just do that.
Yeah.
And then you play songs and hope that people like them. What if all of that was a song? Like, what if you just had a song that was telling people who you are and what you're going to do and saying, I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up? I'm Brian. Welcome. I don't fucking know. Like, that sounded stupid, but like.
That would be kind of cool, though.
Right. Yeah. Like, so what if you, and I'm not even just saying, like, that's a little bit too literal of an interpretation of what if it was a song, but what if the creativity and art extended into that area
Yeah.
of what you do?
Yeah.
Like, think of it with visual art, the sharpening of pencils, the prepping of a canvas, framing, stretching canvas. Like, these things are people in days long gone. People and artists and artisans and craftsmen did think of it that way.
Yeah.
Where the littlest, tiniest things were insanely important and treated with the same reverence and detail as the actual painting.
It's all context.
Right. And it's like, now a lot of us, for some reason, give like this hyper supremacy to the core content. Only the song as it was finally recorded. That's it. Everything around it, surrounding it, before, after, not art. Just the song.
I think it really depends on the level of performance that you're at, though, too, because I don't think that that's true for, like, major touring artists. I think that's more of, like, a DIY level thing, that it's more conversational or more haphazard. But, like, if you go to see, like, I don't know, even dumb shit.
Fucking, like Eras Tour, Taylor Swift.
Well, that's kind of an
That
extreme
shit's
example.
probably choreographed to the tiniest detail.
That probably definitely, but I mean, not even at that level. Like, you know, like moments that like go viral because they're supposed to be so like casual or whatever, like the Lord Shush video or whatever.
Yeah,
that was planned, and there was a reason for that, and it was to curate a certain vibe. Or you go see certain artists, like I think it was Mitski that we went to see, who didn't do any stage banter at all, like didn't even talk between songs.
not a word.
That's also an intentional decision.
Of course, yeah.
Like I think that if you have a larger budget, larger team, like more control over those external elements, it definitely is part of the game plan. In the same way that like if you were doing an art show at a DIY space or at like a community center, it's going to have a different kind of context than if you were doing it in like a gallery or museum because it's a bigger production. But I think that there's no reason why a DIY level artist shouldn't or can't think about stuff like that. In the same way that you can't think about that in a community center. You absolutely can. You just have to do it yourself.
I think all artists and creatives doing anything that involves the public, even in the tiniest of ways, should be thinking about the creative process
In every aspect.
Not because the pressure's on, you better do that or you suck, but because there may be a reason that you are disillusioned, and there may be a reason that these shows and these performances and these things you do are boring, or the art shows suck, or like it's just not fun. You had fun and you were in your studio. Mm-hmm. You had fun at the easel. You had fun with your guitar. Like you had fun at every process of you had fun at every step of the creative process. But then during the displaying and distribution, you're miserable. And there's a reason for that.
You know what I think part of that is too, which maybe is what you're getting at. I think that there's something to be said for breaking down walls that you might have even subconsciously about where you're allowed to be creative and what you're allowed to put your own spin on or flair on. And maybe that's part of it. Like in these bigger artists that have people buying tickets to their shows, like you're the star of the fucking show. And maybe you have some stage fright or something, but like be realistic. People are paying money to see you. Versus if you're signing up for an open mic or if you're doing a DIY show, like maybe there's a little bit of imposter syndrome there where you do your little thing and you do it where you're asked to do it, but you're not trying to make waves. I think that I can speak to that as far as like different art shows that I've had. Sometimes it's definitely a developed skill to take the reins and say like, I mean, in the context of an art show, like I'm going to do the wall text. I'm going to frame these the way that I want to. I'm going to hang them myself. I'm going to invite people to come I'm going to just invite everyone I know to come. I'm going to figure out programming. I'm going to be proactive about programming. I'm going to do a speech. I'm going to make a booklet, like do things that nobody asked me to do because I think it would be sick if this happened. And the whole production is now a new art project. It's not I made these and I put them there and whatever happens. Yep. It's I'm contributing to the experience of you experiencing what I already made. It's another layer. And I couldn't agree more. Well, I think a lot of people, maybe it's not, I think it's a little bit dismissive to say that it's anything maybe that isn't like, I don't think it's laziness. I don't think it's like negligence. I think that sometimes it's imposter syndrome, it's fear, it's not knowing if you're allowed to do that. Like, it feels like you're overstepping or being pushy. But I think that it makes the difference between like something regular and cool but mid and something that is like an immersive experience that feels professional and exciting and new. Like, people know that when they're experiencing something that's really different.
Yeah, I mean, and I think an immediate reflex answer I can hear in somebody like that is hearing this idea is that they might say, "Oh, like, I don't want it to be that like planning it out and this and that and getting everything done in advance, like, oh, that robs it of its authenticity or the spark of live, anything could happen." And it's just like, I think that's I've heard people say that, not whatever, but like, I think like that in a sense can be true for specific things, but fuck, what am I saying? In this instance, I would say that that's kind of an excuse, because like, when you think of artists that are specifically, okay, so when you say like, oh, I want it to be in the moment, I want it to be like real and raw and anything can happen. Like, now we're talking about improvisation, right?
Yeah.
And when we talk about improv artists, the best ones are absolute professional, legendary, daily improvisers.
Yeah.
Think about the Grateful Dead. The Grateful Dead, I don't listen to them a lot. I mean, I don't really know much about them, but what I do know is that they don't play the same set twice. Their whole thing is that they improvise and jam and do something completely fucking brand new every time they perform.
Wow.
Like, that's the whole... I think that's the same with the band Fish. Like, that's the jam band genre. That's what that means. Or you think of like improv comedians. You know what I mean? Their craft, they are making an art out of and planning and preparing for the anything can happen environment.
Yeah.
So if you are the type of person that's like, well, I want anything to happen, I want it to be raw and authentic, you also have to put creative energy and detail into cultivating that dynamic where anything could happen.
Yeah.
Because if you say any person that says, I want anything to be able to happen, I want it to be raw and real and by the seat of my pants, I know you don't mean that I know that doesn't mean you're perfectly okay
With it sucking.
Yeah, with it being ass and you forgetting the words and fucking, I don't know, your pants rip on stage, or I don't know, like, or you
We can't plan for that.
or you throw up by accident while singing. Like, I don't know.
God.
Well, I don't know. Actually, yeah, those are things you
The
can't.
worst
Those
thing
are
in
just
life.
awful things, not things that you can really plan for. But like, you don't want it. If you're cool with everything happening, are you cool with it being mediocre?
Yeah.
Or you telling jokes that just flatly flop and nobody laughs?
Yeah.
Are you cool with that? Because if you are, then let it rip. But if you aren't,
Yeah.
detail.
And here's another thing, too, that I think is kind of overlooked in this. There's many hats to the idea of a live performance, right? Like, if you're a musician or you're a singer-songwriter or whatever, or if you're a band, you, as a given, if you're playing shows and you're making music, you're probably thinking about the music you're making. You've written it, you've recorded it, whatever. Even if it's not exactly the same every time you play, if you maybe improvise a little bit or whatever, you're confident in the fact that you're a musician, you're capable in that craft. And that's fucking awesome. That's step one. But if you're going to improvise the parts between your songs, or like the riffing in the beginning of the show or whatever, that's not being a musician. It's a piece of it, it's performance, but that's kind of like stand-up comedy. That's like being an entertainer.
It's like being the keynote speaker at an event.
And you're just going to wing it?
Right. I couldn't agree more.
And here's the other thing too. I have experience with improv acting. I actually love improv. And what the whole ethos of that is like a yes and mentality, where it's like it's not that you just make shit up the whole time. Like, you do, but improv actors rehearse. They have improv rehearsals. They have like a general sense of the bit. There's like a structure. Well, not even just that, but like sometimes you write a skit and just don't write an ending. And you take it to a certain degree and then you yes and from whatever happens. Or you have like a stand-up comedian will have a set, but then they'll do crowd work, and if something goes on, then they roll with that. And you can still do that, like have some shit to like fall back on. It's kind of like a job interview. Like, you're not going to just walk into a job interview without looking up the person you're talking to or know what position you're applying for. that doesn't mean you scripted the whole thing and it's completely stiff and forced. Like, you're gonna make some jokes, but you're gonna want to know what the fuck you're saying. You're gonna Google, what do you say when they ask for your weaknesses, right?
Right. This kind of reminds me of battle rap and freestyle rappers, where the most legendary and most skilled and like most out of this world skill level freestyle rappers and battle rappers
Yeah.
have the ability actually to just spin a fucking completely brand new, beautiful, like crazy dope freestyle. But that is a rare skill. The rest of battle rappers and rappers that are doing freestyles are like, oh, I just dropped this new freestyle track. Like, it's written.
Yeah.
It's written. It's not like a polished song. It's kind of like putting out a demo or something. Like, where like a lot of them, like Eminem, for example, one thing that he said, or Rick Rubin said this about him or something, is that he keeps like an infinite stream of lyric notebooks.
Yeah.
Of just constant filling of notebooks of writing, of constantly writing bars and rhymes and song ideas. And most of them he isn't using ever.
Yeah.
Or even like they're not becoming songs, but he's doing it to keep his brain writing.
Yeah.
Where his brain, that muscle is never tired. It's never atrophying. He's like a marathon runner lyrically, where because he's constantly writing, if he were called upon to do a freestyle or was battle rapping like he did at the beginning of his career, if you don't know this, Eminem got his start in the battle rap circuit of Detroit.
Yeah.
Which is pretty fucking cool if you ask me. But the thing is that when people are doing battle rap and freestyle, they are accessing a reservoir of lyrics and rap in their mind.
Yeah.
That they are using. You know what I mean? Like I said, there are rappers that are just fucking sick enough that they don't even have to do that.
Yeah.
They can just fucking do. I don't fucking know, but.
Well, it's kind of like, I mean, both of us have some experience with this, but just like, I can go to an art market and just put up a sign saying like $5 drawings, 5-minute drawing, and just like do portraits all day long.
Yeah.
But I've also been doing portraits for like 20 years.
Right, yeah, you're not just winging them out of, like, something you've never done in your entire life.
Yeah, that's fucking hard. And you know what? I do them in Sharpie. I do double tip Sharpie, and I do it on, like, usually white paper, and I have a certain aesthetic that I do. And there's a reason that I'm not doing watercolor portraits or fucking graphite, and it's because this is something that I have an abbreviated shorthand in. Like, I have a visual vocabulary that I can refer to. And I might never have seen this person before, but I look at that person and I say, I know the kind of texture of the shirt that you're wearing. I see the curl pattern of your hair. I see the color of your eyes. I've done this before. Add this, 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 and this, and that makes this drawing. Because I've done it, you know? Like, you need the phonics before you can just fucking write a book.
That's a great metaphor. The aesthetic phonics of your craft. This is the exact same thing with stand-up comedy, where, you know, even the most professional comedians will just go up on stage and just try random stuff. But a lot of the times they're not, I mean, some comedians do this. They're like writing on stage in real time. Yeah. But most people just have things that they've written throughout the weeks or months or something since the last time they were at an open mic, and they're just letting it rip. But they're like, I think the headline here is that to be a consistent and strong improviser, you need a reservoir and you need a skill set and library to be referring back to.
Yeah.
You need a language before accessing that improvisational energy, because if you don't, then now you're the guy on stage going, what,
Yeah.
you know, and it's like, why do you want to be that guy?
Yeah.
You don't want to be the and like I say that not in a judgmental way. I say that as somebody who's been the guy for, you know, most of my life.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. That's like, I definitely will do that again.
You know what's a really...
I haven't done that for the last time.
You know what's a really overused bit, too?
What?
I'm fucking Theo Earthworms, and here's a fucking song. And you just play.
Right. Yeah, that's one. Or
just start playing. Like, don't say anything.
Or all these songs are on Spotify and Apple Music and Deezer. Follow us on Pornhub. That is a line that literally every band on earth has screamed into the mic.
You know what else is a really weird one? This is like a pet peeve of mine? Is when the band goes up on stage and just says, I love all of you.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
At a show with like 20 people.
You know what? You know who I'll shout out that I think has very good song intros is our alumni of the show is Chris O'Grady of Troll 2, where he has one bit that he does literally. This is like very inappropriate, so cover your ears. Where he just says, "This is a song about crying while masturbating," and then jumps into the song, and it's not a song about that. It's a lie. Like, it's not about that at all.
That's pretty funny.
But he just and everyone in the room is like, "What?"
He's a really good performer. His
He's
songs
very
are really good too.
Well, I'll tell you what, from all of my conversations with Chris O'Grady, and maybe even on this podcast, he puts an absolute metric fuck ton of detail and attention into what he's saying and what he's writing.
There you go.
So, I mean, he's not... When you... If any insanely hyper-local people are listening to this and just happen to know who Chris is, if you ever see Troll 2 or Chris perform, I would guess that almost all of it is planned to the T. That's actually Troll 2. This is the Troll 2 shout-out episode. But I remember one of the first times I realized that people do that was in, like, 2013 when they were playing at my fucking house when I was in high school. I found one of their set lists after the show, and I saw written into their set lists were all of the times where they were going to talk and who was going to talk. Like, shout out the album at this part.
Yeah.
Like, they had all that planned, and like, I was like, interesting. At the time, I was like I thought I like caught them. Like, I was like, huh, of course they're doing that. But like, obvious, like, you're an idiot if you don't do that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Unless, I don't know, I shouldn't be that, like, you know, black and white about it. Like I said,
I guess there's different approaches, but
if you're doing the improvisational route, that's something you have to practice too. It isn't just fucking winging it.
Well,
like, the Grateful Dead isn't winging it.
yeah. And I mean, that's the thing. Like, there's a difference between being a musician and a performer. And I mean, I don't know. I consider myself 100% not a performer. I've written poetry. I've read poetry at like public settings. I've done performance-y things. But I don't think that I'm like an entertainer, really.
Sure.
I just go up there and I do what I do, and I want to kill myself, and then I sit down. And usually I make shit, I put it on the wall, and I orchestrate events to happen around those things and involve other people. Like, I'm kind of more of an administrator and working remotely, like, make my painting and put it up for you to see without me doing anything kind of person. And that's fine. Like, recently, I mean, maybe I shouldn't even talk about this because it's very new, but you've been helping me make some music that I've been writing, which is really cool. But I can tell you right now, I would rather walk across hot coals than ever play my music live.
Should I splice in the song right now?
No.
So they can hear it?
No.
Okay, I won't.
What the fuck? Well, no.
You're thinking about it.
No, because I might want to put it up if I make a bunch of them.
Well, I mean, just a little sample for the listeners.
No.
Okay, never mind.
Should we leak your album?
No, but I have spliced songs into the episode before.
When?
When I put Jimmy 2 Times sample.
Oh, you did that?
That song that will never see the light of day ever.
Oh my god, I forgot
It was
about that
me trying to
song.
imitate Corpse Husband.
Fun fact, Brian has written 2 full love songs about me and just didn't release them. And isn't ever going to.
I
probably.
love you.
Yeah, not in public though.
Your love songs are in my heart.
That's
Just
not
kidding.
good enough.
Yeah, I don't know. Is there a love song on the new album? I don't even know.
Fucking no.
I'm not sure. If
No,
there
I'm
is or
sure.
not. I love you. And the Art Songs album didn't really make sense for there to be a love song on that one.
Why not?
Maybe I could have if I had more time. Like, if I could have taken my time more on that Art Songs album, I think it would have been like 900 times better.
You could do another one.
Did you know that Jack Strawber, who I consider to be myself to be like kind of following in the aesthetic tradition of, like, I feel like I'm kind of doing some stuff like he's done in the past. I'm pretty sure when he puts out albums, they're like fucking like 80 songs long.
Wow.
They're like, because he is making songs that are like 20 seconds, a minute and 30. Like, they're like very like kind of just fragments and vignettes of just fun little bops and things.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what my direction right now, I think, for the next things I release.
Not the album coming out this weekend.
No, because it's old at this point.
It's from like 2 months ago.
Yeah, but it's like not even relevant to my creative thinking anymore.
Dog, you need to just like listen
I'm not
to that
saying
album
it's
by
bad. I think it's awesome, and I love that I made it, and I'm going to carry it forward and promote it. I'm going to promote the shit out of it for at least a month.
I just don't want to see you just like let that album be like a burp in the wind.
A burp in the wind. No, it's not.
No, because I think that what happened, I think that you seek, or not seek, but you, like, follow your passions, and you follow, like, I feel like you're, like, a creative dopamine chaser in a way.
Yeah, I am.
And there was a massive dopamine surge with the Art Songs album that I think is unfairly distracting you from the Vocaloid album. Like, I don't think that you've given it any critical thought because it's a fruitless endeavor in your eyes right now, which is a self-fulfilling prophecy as far as the promotion goes. You need to get hype as fuck about the Vocaloid album again.
Because you know what's happening with the songs for social media is that I feel like I figured out, it's not even remotely close to perfected.
Yeah.
But I figured out that, okay, I mean, with any video that you stumble across on Reels or TikTok, the video has, like, less than 1 second to make you continue watching it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're like, ugh, and just immediately skip past it because it's, like, some random thing you don't want to watch.
Yeah.
And with the songs, like, I'm finding myself trying to write songs that aren't even meant for the internet, where I'm like cringing at myself when I'm trying to include instrumental parts, intros, slower singing. I'm like, no. And I'm like realizing this is all from TikTok and Instagram because with the TikTok songs, you cannot have an intro.
Yeah.
There's no instrumental parts. It needs to be like 500 words long. Like, and I say that for, like, it needs to be a lot of words. Like, you need to be speaking fast.
Yeah.
And singing fast. No slow beats. We're talking 150 BPM plus on everything. Like, everything's just fucking fast and has everything trimmed off of it.
Yeah.
To the point where it's like a PB&J that's just a little square because you cut off so much of the crust. Like, that's a TikTok
analogy,
song.
but okay.
To me, and it's like very like weird because music is very beautiful when it's taking its time and it's taking you somewhere and it's carrying you along. But the internet doesn't want you to do that. It doesn't want you to create a liminal experience of sonic landscapes. It wants like bop 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 bop.
Which I think is part of the reason I'm saying that you should advocate for your own album a little more here. Because I think the Vocaloid album is an actual artistic endeavor.
It is.
Which, not that the Art Songs thing isn't, but that's a different thing. That's a communications endeavor more.
It kind of is. It's definitely a communications endeavor, but it's also it's not hyper pop. I don't mean that. I mean, it's like hyper pop oriented. I'm saying that I need to change my vernacular there because hyper pop, that doesn't make sense. It's not hyper pop, but it's uber pop. Like, it's just 3 chords, fun, happy, boom 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 boom.
Yeah.
Da, 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 da. Like, it is like it might as well be doo-wop. It's so pop oriented. Okay. That's what I'm trying to say. That probably made no sense to anybody. That's okay, whatever.
No, I get what you mean.
But it is like
it's simple.
It is like anti-artistic in a way that I love.
Yeah.
So much.
I don't think either thing are bad. I'm just advocating for the Vocaloid album. Because another thing that is kind of like, I don't know, compared to like a huge follower surge or like a bunch of attention is difficult to keep in perspective. But not one single person that you've showed it to didn't say that it was fucking awesome. Like, there's not even been a lukewarm reaction at all. It's all been like, this is fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's fun. That's true. I don't know.
You just don't care anymore.
You know what it is I feel like Let Me Go, the Vocaloid album,
Yeah.
as we call it, the Vocaloid album, is like a beautiful, like, Renaissance painting with, like, tons of detail and care, and it's, like, maximalist and crazy and amazing. Mm-hmm. And the TikTok songs are a Campbell's soup can. You know what I mean? Where both have so much transcendent beauty and philosophy behind it, but they're very fundamentally different. Does that make sense?
Yeah. But I feel like what you're doing is like, you're showing up to the museum saying, fuck that gallery, that's stupid, let's go to the contemporary wing, and then just go in there.
Yeah, that's true. I gotta check out all the cool stuff.
And you're the one who brought your friends. So they're not going over there. They're going to go to the Contemporary Wing, go to the gift shop, and then go get McDonald's.
I'm giving them chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
Not
You have to bring them all around.
Beautiful roasted chicken with peppers and mushrooms and olive oil and, I don't know, rice.
Weird, but yeah. Rice.
I don't know. I'm not a culinary expert. I don't know how to... I can't just, like, wing off a beautiful sounding meal off the top of my head.
You can't improvise it?
No, because I'd never think about culinary arts or cooking. Unless I'm cooking. Or I'm hungry. I don't fucking know. I think you're completely right, though. And I'm going to... Look, I didn't say I wasn't going to... I'm not, like, canceling the album. And
I'm splicing a Vocaloid song right now.
I'll play us off with one, maybe.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm gonna grind it out and keep... And, you know, I'm gonna... What it is like, I don't consider myself a single artist. I consider myself a media house, if that makes sense. Like, I like to think of my art as, like, Brian, I am a shell company for, like, hundreds of other different little companies.
Yeah.
And, yeah, and, like,
Yeah.
I forgot what I was going to say.
I am a shell company.
Right now, on the most important vertical in little company are the art songs for TikTok and Instagram. And I don't care if it's vapid or superficial. I know you didn't say that, but maybe some people do think that. And it's like, fuck you. I'm just going to keep making these because people like them.
Yeah.
I make art because people like art. And I like when people like me.
You're an entertainer.
So fuck off. Anyway, I'm just kidding. But no, like I said, I'm going to promote... Trust me, there's going to be some cool videos and things like that around the Vocaloid album. I don't know what the content is going to look like yet, but it's going to be there and it's going to be dope.
That's good, but that's not what I mean. You should let it have a moment in your heart.
Oh, yeah. No, that moment happened.
No, it didn't.
While I was making the stuff.
In the middle of the moment.
And once it's on Spotify, 50% of the plays that it's going to get are going to be me listening to it.
Good.
You know, all of my on repeat playlist and all of my recent searches, and every time I open Spotify now, it's like, listen to Brian Huntress. Continue listening to this album by Brian Huntress. Like, it thinks that I am a super fan of myself.
Why doesn't it know that's you?
Because it's two different things. Like, I'm not like uploading music to my personal account.
They're not connected?
No, it's not. It is through Spotify. I can access the analytics through my account, but it doesn't connect. Like, it doesn't.
It should suppress your own uploads. If they're linked.
No, it doesn't. It just treats you as a unique user. It doesn't treat you. It's not like.
I get that, but
you
I'm
can't
saying
like
that's
be
stupid.
on. You can't like. I don't know what I'm saying.
I know, but I'm saying that's dumb.
Yeah, it is dumb. Also, I need to cut my hair.
What?
I need to cut it.
To what? What length?
Like shoulder.
Really?
Yeah, it's time. I think I'm at the point where I think it's happening.
What's happening? You're doing
Like,
it?
I just feel like I need to cut it.
Are you going to do a side part or a mid part? Because you're not going to be able to put it in a bun anymore.
I think I want to cut it short enough so that it could still be tied back to some degree.
Like pony?
Or like a top knot. Be one of those assholes.
You're going to have to go to a real hairdresser then.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to cut it myself.
That's going to be interesting. Your hair's been the same since I've known you.
No, it was shoulder length when we first started hanging out.
It was a little past your shoulders. But...
Like, I'm going to bring it back to that as my plan.
Oh. So not shoulder length, like a little, it was like here.
Oh, well, okay, sure. Yeah, so that it's touching my shoulders.
Well, there's a big difference between like a bob and like a mid-length cut.
Why in the blue fuck would I get a bob?
I was picturing you with a bob.
Like a mom haircut? Why would I do that?
No, not a mom haircut.
I would look like a fucking idiot.
Like berries and cream?
Yeah, oh, that's an awesome idea. I'm going to get bangs and a bob.
Berries and cream.
I would look like a fucking idiot if I did. Like, I feel like those, you know how like you see people on TikTok that have that like it's like a 70s nostalgia haircut where they have like hair, like they have like Creedence Clearwater Revival bangs and long hair. That only works if you're like a beautiful, like, pardon my French, but like a beautiful, like twink, like hot guy. Like, that's not my, like, if I did a haircut like that, I would look like I was from a trailer park. Not like a beautiful, like, oh, he's so mysterious and has a Telecaster. Like, I have like a beard. Like, I don't.
You could shave the beard.
Yeah, but also I would have to, I don't know. I mean,
You could go for the little baby look.
I just, like.
There's a picture of you as a baby with that haircut.
With a bowl cut?
Yeah, with the bangs.
No, that's not really what I'm talking about.
It was like a longish one.
I'm talking about people who have bangs and a mullet and long hair.
Oh.
It's like literally like something.
That's like 80s.
Yeah, sure. Early.
That would look good on you. A mullet?
I think that, well, oh my God. No,
You would
a
look hot
mullet
with a
would
mullet.
look cool.
Yeah.
That's different.
Do a mullet.
Maybe I should do a mullet.
That would be sick.
I think I'm going to do the shoulder length first.
And then do a mullet if you hate it.
Yeah, and then chill on that for a little bit and just have normal hair.
That's true.
And then maybe go mullet.
Because the thing is, if you don't like the mullet, it's a
There's no going back.
You're going to have to shave it all.
I wouldn't mind that because having a cue ball is like a fun aesthetic. Like if you just buzz your head. Like it makes you look, it's like its own version of being insane. Like you're just some fucking crazy guy with a skinned head.
Are you going to have a beard still if you do a cue ball?
See, that's the question because...
I'm going to be like kind of mad at you if you go Walter White, to be honest.
If I look like Walter...
Yeah, I don't think I'd like that.
Well,
like it's your body, it's your choice.
I would still
but...
have hair. I wouldn't like have like a skull shaving device where I would have like an actual bald head.
So would you just have like a military cut?
No, not like a boy's regular like dad cut. But if I were to shave my head, it would be a way of resetting my hair. So that I wouldn't bring it down to zero, like fucking literal, like, you know what I mean?
I did that once.
I've done it too, and you look pretty cool when you did it, but it's a vibe. Like, it's its own kind of crazy, weird hairstyle.
I was having a mental breakdown when I did it, but it did look kind of cool.
So that may be in my future, unfortunately, if I have to reset, because that is the unfortunate trade-off if you do something like a mullet. Did I say that right? A mullet or a hard part or like other wacky hairstyles, is you unfortunately are committing yourself to a future cue ball.
Not necessarily, actually, though. Like if you had a hairdresser that you were going to, they could help you grow it out gracefully, I bet.
That's true, but I mean, you know,
just have shaggy sides.
I don't really have the bandwidth or funds to be at a salon like that right now.
How much does a haircut cost?
Well,
Do you know?
Here's the thing though. Yeah, a haircut's like $15. I'm saying that if you want that treatment where it's like a hairstylist like helping you design and set it up and grow it out gracefully, like that's not something that you don't get that for $15. Like that's something you go to a consistent, like that's like going to a therapist or having a primary care doctor.
Yeah, but I mean,
you don't get that at Mike's barber shop, $15 haircuts.
You build up a relationship with your hairdresser.
But I think, yeah,
But
your
like
hairdresser.
every
But
couple
at your
weeks.
barber, it's different. Like barbers, I mean, maybe if you're lucky and you got like the same guy, like you got a guy that's like giving you a good haircut every time. But I feel like every time I'm seeing a barber, it's like meeting a brand new person for the first time every time. And I'm like just hoping that the guy doesn't fucking Marie Antoinette my fucking
That's why you
my
shouldn't be doing
shit
that.
and make me die and look like
Don't go to
dumbass.
fucking Pro Cuts. Go to a salon where you can like, and you don't have to go to like a crazy expensive one, but go to one where you can just book the same guy every time.
I don't fucking know, dude. I don't know.
I don't understand what the issue is.
The issue is fuck you.
You want a cue ball head?
Just kidding, I love you.
You want a little cue ball head?
Yeah. I want to go to a hairdresser that can shrink my head.
Just make your head teeny.
Yeah, like from
Like a little ping
Beetlejuice.
pong ball head.
Yeah. That would be so fucked up.
Bald with a beard and a tiny head.
Can you imagine if like magic and curses and stuff were just like 100% real and somebody could just curse you to have a tiny head?
If you had one chance to do a curse, but it wasn't like a real violent curse, like it wasn't something actually bad, but it was just something silly bad, what would you do?
I get one free curse.
Yeah, you could curse someone that you hate. You don't have to say who it is. You're not allowed to give them like a real, like, you can't kill them or like hurt anybody or like anything fucked up.
Okay.
But you could give them a tiny little curse.
Okay. 4 root canals at the same time on all molars.
That's hurting them. That's just a negative
Like they
experience.
have to get a root canal on like 5 teeth at the same time.
That's not it.
And their insurance doesn't cover it.
No, that's not the right thing. That's not the right kind of thing. So, like, mine,
Okay.
for example, maybe I would do, you're red-green colorblind now.
Oh! That's fucked up. That's hurting a person.
No, I know.
That's
people
like
that are
partially
colorblind.
like blinding somebody.
No, they can still see.
You're damaging their vision.
It's just a little difficult to tell the difference between red and green.
No, that's fucked up.
There's a lot of people that are like that.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, it is. It's a curse. But it's not
Okay.
that big of a curse. They're not blind.
Maybe maybe a good curse could be give someone permanent ingrown toenails
Why was
on all toes.
That lady was so scary. Did you ever see that?
That lady was pretty creepy looking, yeah.
She just full head turn stared me in the eyes as she drove around us. And she looks like she's like 100 years old. She's leaving a closed Home Depot.
Yeah, that lady is definitely like
ghost.
Yeah, she's like has like the ghost of like
Why did she stare into my soul as she drove around our
Ted
car?
Bundy.
Also, why did she drive around our car? It's hard to explain why that was weird without understanding the physical context of where we're parked, but just know it was pretty fucked up.
Yeah, man. The time I did traveling before the pandemic, I had some very dark, weird moments in parking lots. Like, you know what the fucking weirdest thing that ever happened to me was traveling?
When you had to sleep behind a dumpster in Indiana?
Oh, that was ass, dude. If that counts as being the most weird, then that definitely is the most weird. I feel like that's not weird. That's more just disastrous and horrible.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I've definitely told that story before.
We almost did that
When was that?
in Maine.
Oh, dude.
We got so close
we
to
were
sleeping in the
going
car.
to sleep in the car. Me in Indiana, I was sleeping in a patch of grass
That's bad.
like a fucking idiot. But one time I was at a Wawa in fucking New Jersey or some shit, or I forget wherever the fuck Wawas are. And I was in the stall of a bathroom in the men's room, came out of the stall, and there was this man at the urinal, and he was looking at me, and he was speaking in full gibberish. Like, just like, like just saying non-words, like very intensely. And then the guy like lunged at me and was like, like as if to like scare me or like attack me or something, yelling in gibberish. And it was literally so fucked up.
Are you sure it was gibberish?
100,000% sure. If he was speaking a different language, it would have been absolutely off. It was American English gibberish. And so I left and was like, that was absolutely fucked up. It was like Lynchian.
He lunged at you from the urinal?
Yeah, but as a way to like pretend like he was gonna get me.
Oh,
like,
he was like faking?
Like scaring, like trying to scare me.
Was his dick still out?
No, he was just some fucking freak.
Huh.
Fully
I
clothed.
mean, that would be freaky.
Yeah, that would be even worse, but at least that would make sense.
So he stopped what he was doing and then lunged at you?
I think that he was by the urinals, but not using them.
Oh.
Like he was
just hanging out?
He was lurking.
He was lurking.
He was lurking in the bathroom and then lunged at me to scare me twice while speaking gibberish. And then I got the fuck out of there.
Okay.
And then was back in the car. 10 or 15 minutes later, the guy's out front of the store getting forcefully arrested by like 5 cops.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Why? Do you
I
know?
have no fucking clue. I'm sure he did something fucked up, I'm sure. But
In that 5 minutes?
no, it was like 10 or 15 minutes after I had left the bathroom, gotten the fuck away from this guy.
Wow.
But yeah, and then the guy got arrested. So whoever he victimized, I'm glad it wasn't me. because it was, you know, the scene in Twin Peaks where the little person guy in the red suit is like singing in reverse in the red room or the Black Lodge or whatever. Mm-hmm. That's what the bathroom moment for me at Wawa was like that.
It actually wasn't gibberish. He was just speaking in reverse.
Yeah, like it was, well, just the same vibe as the scene.
Yeah.
That's what I felt like I was experiencing.
Nice.
Like just some horrible throwaway scene from Twin Peaks.
You got tiny cursed. Someone tiny cursed you.
It was like a tiny curse from what's that show called again? The Curse? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Shout
my
out to that
hypothetical.
show. That was fucked.
It was.
That guy, maybe that guy was cursed and that's why he was acting like that. Because somebody cursed him.
He was cursed to speak only gibberish, and he was trying to tell you, and you didn't help him.
He was
and
asking
got
for
arrested.
I fucking wish so bad that I knew why that guy got arrested.
It's kind of scary that it's open-ended. Like, what did he do?
My guess,
Public intoxication or something?
yeah, well, my most logical guess is that he just went into the store and then acted the exact same way to an employee. And then the employee just immediately called the police, probably.
Or he did something fucked up before he went to the Wawa.
Who knows, man? The thing was, too, this was a small bathroom. It was like one stall and like 2 urinals. This wasn't like some big rest stop bathroom. It was a close quarters with this guy. I legitimately believed that my life was in danger. I was like, this is bad. So I just, yeah.
Huh.
Yep. Weird. And the guy was my age too. Like he was like a young guy.
Oh, that's super weird.
Yeah. So that was another reason that I was scared is because, you know, if it was like a wacky, you know, old guy,
Yeah.
not really threatening, but a guy my age, who knows? Maybe the guy could have fucking overpowered me or something, you know?
Yeah.
And just beat the absolute fuck out of me.
That's so interesting.
It would have been absolutely
to reflect
terrible.
on the fact that you only have to think about that in some circumstances when talking to weird people.
Yeah, that is a true assessment. I'm definitely grateful for that.
That's like a given. Anytime some creep is talking to me, it's like they could beat me up.
Yeah, that's absolutely terrible.
Thanks.
I don't know. I mean,
sorry about that.
It is the case that there is the people that I am most afraid of or that I think could do. If I'm in a situation where I'm afraid of strangers, 9 times out of 10, it's someone who is like an equal opponent to me. Like someone who is like I said, like, I don't know, some dad that smokes 2 packs a day and is drunk outside of a bar being a piece of shit. Like that's not a threatening person. Or an old guy or
That's
something.
not a threatening person, a drunk middle-aged guy outside of a bar.
Drunk, smoker, old, middle-aged man.
Absolutely a threatening person.
Right, but from my perspective, if you had to fight that guy would be hyperventilating within 1 minute.
Maybe if I tickled him.
Or if you ran from him, if someone like that was running, he'd be KO'd in like a minute and a half of running. Less.
Yeah, that could be true.
I don't know. This is taking a dark turn, this conversation.
It's interesting.
I definitely, yeah. It is definitely a privilege.
Yeah.
That I have thought about this before, that I definitely would choose my circumstances over others.
Was that the first draft of that sentence?
Yes.
Over yours?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I empathize. Well, I mean, I can't imagine, like, just feeling like...
I feel bad for women.
No, I mean, I did. Am I having, like, a total dumbass moment right now?
No, it's okay. Oh, my God.
I really can't imagine. That is something that I never thought about until I was an adult, though.
Yeah.
To be honest, I never even thought that was a dynamic that I didn't have access to or didn't understand.
I mean, it makes sense. I was reading a forum in one of my classes that I was taking that I just finished. It was psychology of women. So it was like basically like an intro feminism class, and it was a required psych class for my major. And there was this guy in the class, and it's all online, so all of the class discussion and like your responses to the readings and stuff are public in the forum, or like public to our class. And every time that he started writing about feminism or sexism, it'd be like a fucking like trigger warning, but like an article on like rape and like sexual assault or like domestic violence or something. And every time he posted, he'd start it with "sadly."
Unfortunately.
So good.
with great regrets.
And everybody, part of the assignment is that you have to respond to people's comments. So everybody would always comment on his because it was just like funny. He's like the only dude in the whole class, and it's all women. And or people that have like a feminine experience or have self-described that way. So it's a forum, I guess, with no photos. But anyway, everybody's like always commenting on his posts, and they're all like, "Congratulations on! I really appreciate that you're seeing this. It's nice to hear a man's perspective on this." Blah blah blah. And it's all like so like. It's just hilarious. And the first time that I saw one of his comments, he was like, "Sadly, a lot of men don't realize that sexism exists. Sadly, it does."
Unfortunately.
And all the comments were like, "Thank you, Evan. Thank you, Evan." I appreciate your insight.
At least he wasn't one of those guys that, like I was this happened to me twice where I did a women in literature class, and there was like one guy in the class that had to like protest every single point of the class.
Yeah.
And then I had a sociology class with this same exact thing where some guy like was like, "Well, what about blah, 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 blah," like every single time we were talking about anything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It is interesting, though. I think, like, I obviously think about this stuff often through just, like, my own lived experience, but it is a good thing to stay in a consistent practice of analyzing intersectionality. Like, there are privileges that you have that I don't have. There's privileges that the two of us have that other people don't.
Yeah.
There's probably privileges that I have that you don't have, too. And it's
maybe
a good thing to... Like, maybe.
No, I mean, I can't even think of one. I don't know. What? That's stupid. What? I'm not trying to, I'm being sincere.
You said name one.
Yeah, fucking name one, loser. You don't have shit for privileges. I have so many.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really difficult to, and it's funny, like, it's difficult to talk about these things, which I feel like makes most people and me in my life not talk about them ever.
Yeah.
And it's way easier to not talk about these things because then you never say the wrong thing.
Well,
but you also don't have the conversation.
The thing is, though, you do say the wrong thing. You just don't know it because you're not aware of the privileges that you have over other people.
Yeah.
Like, if you are speaking from a position of a certain perspective, it's clear to other people that aren't coming from that background or from that experience that that's where you're speaking from. So just not being proactively inclusive of other people's perspectives on those things or not hearing them out just means that you are not discussing it. It doesn't mean that you're not coming from that background. It's like pretending to be rich when you're not. Like, everyone knows. It's not a big deal, but I don't know. Don't, like, make it a thing. Or maybe more if you're rich people pretending to be poor. Everyone can fucking tell. Just still, like, own it. Whatever.
Yeah, that's like that's such a weird one because it's just like, I don't know. The main thing that I think about with subjects like this is like every time I'm thinking about something like this, I'm like thinking about so many times in the past where I just said something absolutely asinine and probably hurtful, and I didn't realize that I did that until like 3 years later.
Yeah.
And you just like remember some moment you had where you're just like, oh,
I do think
dear God.
Yeah, that sucks.
Just some like radioactive cringe memory of you being stupid.
I think it's important to have those moments though, because that cringing is a measurable metric of your growth from that time. Like, it means that you've learned something to know that it's embarrassing, you know, that you didn't know before.
Yeah.
There's moments that are yet to come.
Those
dude. Feelings should continue to happen. If you're not embarrassed by anything that you said for a long time, that means that you are probably still a dumbass.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Self-reflection is insanely important. I think like all of my old journals too were only about this, where there was a point in my life that probably lasted for a couple of years where I was like detrimentally obsessed with this subject, where I was hyper-analyzing all of my interactions self-consciously, and hyper-analyzing all of the people around me, and it just made me insane.
Yeah. It can be there has to be like a mental health boundary around it so that you don't go off the deep end, I guess. But
yeah,
I think that it is important because the thing is, I think that a lot of people consider, like, and I mean, I have in the past too, like, the idea of analyzing, like, your life from an intersectional or feminist perspective, like, feminist in the sense to mean, like, equality of people, I guess. I think that people think about it like you get educated and then you're good. And that's not, like, if you think about the term intersectional in terms of all the different things that can mean, like race, class, education status, social background, like people, like what town you're from, like there's so many different things, gender, that play into that. And when you add all of those variables and think about how many thousands of perspectives there are with all the different variables and combinations of those variables that exist in the world and the people you'll interact with, it would be impossible and arrogant to think that you figured it out. Like, that you have talked to every specific person, you know where everybody's coming from, you have something to add to every conversation. Like, you're going to continue, not you, but anybody, you're going to continue to be an asshole sometimes because you're coming from a limited experience, and you should continue to seek those experiences and seek that context from the rest of the world to make your interactions with other people more beneficial to you, so you continue to learn and grow and gain knowledge and insight from that, and so that you can be a more, like, welcoming and comfortable person for other people to be around, so you're not just being an asshole and microaggressing or real aggressing people. Like, I don't know. I just think that learning about other people and their experiences is really exciting, and it's good for everybody. But part of that process is admitting that you don't know.
Yeah, speaking of the curse, we were talking about earlier with Nathan Fielder, it's like, I feel like especially with the podcast and interviews, like their characters, Nathan Fielder and Emma Stone's characters in that show, I feel like is like my worst nightmare, is us accidentally being them. Like, straight up, like, even if it is only in like in a cute way, like, like, just entering that kind of vibe would fucking suck so bad. And that's like, I don't know, maybe there's someone listening that like completely believes that we are like that, and they're like, you fucking loser. I don't know.
Just hate listening to us.
Yeah, just literally. I guess the more you grow, the more likely it is that people are hate watching, but whatever, fuck them. But yeah, I don't know, just that, like, just violent, just idiocy, just like being so stupid that it's destroying everything around you and you don't even know.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough because there's a lot of ways to be an idiot. I'm sure there's some I haven't done yet that I will. But I think that maybe like a main trait that those characters had in that show, if you haven't seen it, especially Whitney's character, really, Emma Stone's character, is that she was co-opting the experiences of people who she was kind of complicit in harming, and acting like she knew everything there was to know about them and speaking for them and not really platforming them in a way that was fair, and just being the center of attention of a story that had nothing to do with her, which was just like cringe and weird and awkward. And I think that a lot of people do that. But at least that specific trait is an easy one to avoid. Like, just don't do that, maybe.
All right, let's get off this subject. This is getting too dark.
You're done with it?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, man. What have we covered today?
Wendy's, Vocaloid.
We also talk shit about people who work in the food industry for like 25 minutes.
That is a huge oversimplification of what happened. Don't even put that clip out there. We didn't say that.
We did not talk shit about people in the food industry. We actually love the food industry.
I think Coolsville sucks.
I think Coolsville sucks!
I think about that all the time. I think about that scene more than I think about that, like, what is it, like a Cold War illustration of, like, the guy with the knife running?
Oh, yeah, what is that? Where it's, like, the TV shows him stabbing a guy.
But really, it's his foot as he's running away from the scene of the crime, and the aggressor is off camera?
No, it's him. Well, he's a guy fleeing from an attack. But the camera shows it as if he is attacking a person.
Yeah.
I think that's what that comic is.
I think it's a live-action Scooby-Doo.
Let me say this, okay? As somebody who consistently and constantly is watching videos about internet drama and influencers fighting with each other and all that wacko crazy shit, brain rot. I love that stuff.
Ugh.
Let me say this. When people like clip other people out of context intentionally to hurt them,
Yeah.
it is so obvious when it's a foolishly done stupid clip chimp. Like if somebody clips you, what? What's
Why'd
wrong?
you roll the window down? It's
Because
freezing.
I was hot.
It's cold and wet.
Why don't you just say, hey, I'm cold?
I did.
You just had to meanly interrupt me and blatantly not give a fuck about what I was talking
No,
about.
you said that it.
All right,
was
don't
blatantly
even.
obvious.
Okay, I'm just saying, if somebody clips you out of context and it's like 3 seconds long,
Yeah.
it's obvious to any idiot watching that it's out of context. Like
Yeah.
if somebody clip chimps you in air quotes and it's 10 minutes long, you didn't get clip chimped.
You just said some.
Yeah,
trash
you just
shit,
said a bunch
yeah.
of bad stuff. But if it's literally like 7 seconds with like a million cuts in it, it's like literally any idiot could figure out like, oh, there's obviously missing context.
Yeah.
So that's why it's not, I don't think it's that crazy to, I don't know. Then again, anyway, I'm feeling fatigued. I feel like
We've been recording. For
I feel like the vibe's fucked up right now. Did I just get pissed off at you by accident? Should I not have been mad at you?
No, your feelings are valid. I was cold though. It's like rainy out and it's like 20 degrees. It's 11 o'clock at night. You just rolled the window down fully. What was I supposed to do?
Am I supposed to apologize for being too warm?
Yeah, you're wearing a winter coat.
So were you.
I'm wearing a little.
Where's your excuse? I'm wearing a coat of the same quality and caliber
Not
as your
true.
coat.
Not true. You're wearing like a down puffer.
I
I'm
have
wearing
a
like
quality
a TJ
caliber
Maxx
coat
$20 jacket.
as your coat.
No,
My coat is also from TJ Maxx.
yours was more expensive than that.
How much more expensive? Guess.
It was like $60. I was there when you bought it.
Is that crazy to pay $60 for a coat?
This was a $20 coat, and it does not have lining.
I don't think the price of the coat corresponds to how warm it is.
I think you're dumb if you think that.
I'm sure there are many adequately warm coats that cost $10
At the same store?
at the same store.
You are wearing a waterproof down jacket. I'm wearing.
This is not I'll have you know that if I wore this in the rain, I would be a wet sponge.
You are a wet sponge.
You're a wet blanket.
You're a wet napkin on the street.
You are a fucking duvet that has been dunked in a bucket of ice water and then thrown on a sleeping person.
You're a fucking douchebag.
Well, fuck you.
We're not supposed to bicker. Stop.
We're not bickering. I'm giving you a fucking lesson
What?
in life.
What the fuck? It's my car, and you can't roll the windows down.
How'd you like that?
You roll it right back up.
Yeah, I did. I just wanted a puff of cold air to go onto you. How
You
about I
know
roll
who's
your
in
window
charge.
down? Your window's down now. What? You want me to roll it up so then you can be like, see? You do everything I say.
It's open like a centimeter right now. You rolled it almost all the way
Yeah,
up.
well, I rolled it back up, all right? Not playing games.
It's not a
Not
game.
playing games with you. Speaking of being an asshole and fighting on camera, remember our night where we watched the entire Tim and Eric on cinema Tim Heidecker special?
Yeah.
That was pretty gnarly, huh? That was a triathlon. We watched it live
It was
at a
4
friend's
hours
house.
long.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. And we were up very early that day and didn't expect to be out that late. And we were at a social event. So it was really hard to get through that whole thing. But in the end, I think it was worth it. It was pretty fucking funny.
Mm.
You're giving me a look. You think we should shut off the episode?
No?
Yeah.
I guess so.
We watched Dune.
Yeah.
How'd you like Dune?
It was good. Dune 1. We didn't watch Dune 2 yet.
Dune 1. Good. We didn't watch 2 yet.
What are you doing?
This episode's over. This is done.
Shut it off!
All right. Fuck fuck you guys.
Good chat, everybody.
Good chat, everybody.
Good chat.
Today we talked about Wendy's,
They were here.
food service.
They were here.
I'm recalling for myself. I'm rehashing it for my own sake. Then we talked about performance and adding creativity into parts of the creative process that don't normally have creativity. And then we talked about what came after that.
I want to go to bed.
Oh, fuck you. All right. Thank you all for listening. Boston Art Podcast.
Do we even talk about art?
Yeah, extensively. Okay, thank you for listening. Bye.
Boston Art Podcast is an independent DIY production by Brian Huntress and Theodora Earthworms. The information contained in this episode represents the views and opinions of the original creators or our guests, and does not represent any institution, organization, or business. Find us on Instagram at Boston Art Podcast, and tune in for a new episode every Friday. Thank you for listening.